So welcome back everyone to Finnegan's Farm and welcome back to the channel. Today, myself and Martina have just taken a few days break there before harvest starts next week. We have a busy time ahead of us there, so we decided to come down here. We're actually in County Wicklow today. The place that we come down here quite often. We're in a place called Glenmalure. So for anyone who doesn't know where Glenmalure is, it's in the glen here, not too far away from Glenmalure. It's only about 10 or 15 minutes drive from Glenmalure, just outside Lara. So we've come down here for a few days. Yeah, look, the weather has been fantastic. When you look around here, it's spectacular views everywhere. The mountains. We're just sitting down in the glen here, and we're surrounded by mountains here. So it's a really lovely spot to be. So we actually had the meal here last night in the Glenmalure Lodge. You see it there behind us. It's a family-run business here with the Dowlings there. They're also involved in farming as well, and the guys are telling me there that actually they're starting to bale hay. They're turning hay there yesterday and hope to start baling maybe on Monday. So you'll also see they have some Highland cattle there as well, and we'll show you a picture of those. And really fantastic to look at, very unusual animals. We were sitting down, had the meal, and a few guys came in jeeps and trailers and that, so we got talking to the lads after, and they had been rounding up sheep there for the last few days, and today they're going to start shearing them. So had a big chat with them anyway, and they said, sure, why not come up and have a look, see what's going on. So that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to take the drone up with us. You're going to see some spectacular views right across County Wicklow, especially up there near Glenmalure and that. So we're going to bring the GoPro with us, and we're going to follow the road. It's a track road that we have to take the whole way up the side of the mountain, where the guys are going to be shearing sheep. They have, I think, about 600 or 700 sheep to be sheared there, so there's a couple of lads involved. They've gone early this morning because it's so warm down here. They've been gone since 5:30, 6 o'clock. So we're just going to go up and join them there now, and we'll talk to you there in a minute, okay? We're up here now in the hill there. We're after being over with the lads there. They're shearing away. Ollie and the boys are there. The sheep are after getting shore, and they're getting in to get branded there now. So I'm round into this paddock here after getting the brand. There haven't too much left to do, another 100 or so down in that paddock. So it shouldn't take them too long. But as you can see, fantastic view here in Wicklow. Glenmalure is basically just over that hill there. And if we look behind us here across this skyline, we have Glenmalure. So if you cross over that hill, you go down into Glenmalure. So really picturesque. I suppose the sheep farming is the thing, the hill farming is something that, you know, years ago there would have been a couple of thousand sheep to be showing up here on the mountains, but it kind of has died off a little bit. There's a lot of hard work involved in it, and the sheep that are actually here on the mountain now, they're bred for the mountain. This is survive a lot better. A little bit different than what you'd have in your lowland mountain sheep, so they're probably hardy. The lambs are hardy, they're able to survive. So his survival of the fittest when you're up here, because as you can look across here, you could be lost here, you'd never be seen. So they just have to get on with it. But in general, they do very well, and they can get accustomed to the hill, and then their offsprings are also accustomed to the hill, and they know exactly where to go. And
that's why we want to keep them separate.
Separate, yeah.
Have them here, Mark, if you don't get me.
All right, they can see.
Yours, the 300 bits. See the left here?
Yeah, the left here.
2 over bits and 1 under bit. Just Jim down here, man.
All right. Oh, and the punch.
Yeah.
The punch there, yeah.
Paddy has 300 bits to the left here. I have the top of the right here gone and an over bit.
Right.
So there's no wool. You're not going to get away with no wool. They go in the back end and we sort them out.
But years ago there would have been a couple of thousand sheep here, so would there?
1,000, yeah.
1,000.
The sheep could be weak here, sheep. How they stuck, I don't know how they stuck. When we were young, I wouldn't do it today now. I've been up for now. This is my fourth day here. I never went home. Yeah. Unbelievable the grass, isn't it? Yeah. Here's grass on the shirt.
So it's just the weather?
The rain, yeah.
Huh?
Rain came at the right time.
So surely it'll burn now, will it not? This will it burn from now on, no?
No, but see, a lot of sheep coming out now. So we would if we get that weather for a month.
I had it up the other day, roughly how many sheep would have been? 3,000.
Money?
3,000.
I thought it was even more.
No, that was
the time was the heavy time. Hey, there's only 600 on it at the moment, 700.
See, everyone's taking lowland now and feeding them. Different breed of sheep.
Yeah, no,
These are all kind of mountain sheep.
These are all mountain sheep, aren't they?
Yeah, great.
Where's your hill here now?
It's straight on. And that skyline here, back to that wood.
Oh, right.
That goes the whole way back.
That's a
Now
much,
it's
isn't
hill.
it? You
It's
know.
1,500 acres.
Yeah.
From here to that far, yeah. The skyline is the border. Part of the skyline. When you go up there now, you go up another bit.
Oh, right,
And
okay.
then you're International Park, kind
Yeah,
of blend
National
along.
Park and all the deer. Because we reached some deer yesterday. Must have reached, definitely reached 300 deer yesterday.
That man was saying, the old man was saying that there's much deer up here as sheep.
More, there's more sheep.
Huh?
More, I say.
I've often seen going out there black with deer,
Go away.
going in ones.
They're cattle this year, you see them?
Yeah, see the castle over
I
there.
was going to call it because Amy's a bucket of nuts for them.
So we're sitting here on just on the hill here with Paddy Fanning here. Paddy is a man that knows a thing or two about sheepdogs, isn't you?
Yeah, I'm the fella that does all the cursing up here when we're getting them in. But it was very easy to gather them in yesterday, and it was hot too, and they weren't in too many places, because sometimes later on in the year they can be spread out all over in all kinds of awkward places, but yesterday was handy enough.
So how many dogs would they have bringing them in here?
Well, I had 3, and then a couple of the boys had 2, and then everybody sort of had 1 at least, so there were probably 10 on together, or that,
Right.
10 dogs. And then, but yesterday it was so hot that you needed to be a little bit overstaffed. 'Cause
Yes.
you couldn't, they can run out of petrol, like they can get, you know, in this real hot weather, you have to be careful not to run them out of steam.
Yeah.
So you'd send one fella maybe do one job and another lad do another job,
Yeah.
and you'd be rotating them a bit.
And do you think that the sheepdog trial is a thing that has kind of got quieter in the last few years, or
Well, sheepdog trial, it's a slightly different sort of a thing. It's always going on there. It's been growing, I'd say, if anything, in the last few years. And then the publicity then with, you know, sure, everybody has access to
Yeah.
YouTube and all, so we're all looking at videos and we're watching stuff. And so people all over the world are seeing it now. And so in America and Europe, it's gone very big. I'd say in the last 20 years, 20 years ago, I was afraid it might go into decline.
Yeah.
And instead it went the other way. But it was because of an influx of an awful lot of handlers now from Europe.
Yeah.
And to go to, they have a big continental trial every year. Now, unfortunately, with COVID, it was cancelled last year, but it's been cancelled again this year now, because just with a bit of a resurgence of that new variant here,
Yeah,
it's causing trouble there.
And then, you know, One Man and His Dog was a very popular series years ago, I suppose.
Yeah, I don't know what happened with
Yeah.
One and His Dog. They still have it, and they put it on one of the English farming programmes, but it's a very small little thing now, and it's all done there in a day. But for the time it was on, it had fierce popularity,
Yes.
and it sort of made stars out of a few of the boys. Like.
Yeah. And look, we're here over here, it's Wicklow across that ridge, isn't it?
Well, sometimes the boys ask me this year, but I was away trialling. But sometimes now, later on in the year, when they go to gather a lug, I'll go over there and give them a hand as well. And because I love this sort of work for the dogs, and then it's good for the bit of exercise.
Yeah, a bit of exercise.
But
yeah.
Wicklow now is a different sort of an animal to this one. It's a hard hill, and it takes a long time to get up on it. And I don't know, maybe 200 days of the year it seems to be a fog on it. And if there's a fog on it, you can't gather it. So the boys have an awful thing, because you have to go up to find out if you can gather it, and it's just harder to organise. Whereas we can drive up here to the gate,
turn around and go home if it's not.
Yeah, in a few hours we'll have the thing gathered if the weather's right. And if the weather's not, we can turn around and come back.
So would it be unusual to have a day like this up here today? Or
I'd say this is the hottest day I've ever been up here. I feel sorry for the boys shearing now, but we got a good early start there at 6 o'clock, so a head start on it. But like, it's fierce hot now. This is the hottest I've ever found up here. I find it hot just standing.
Yeah, no, it's very warm. You know, you can see that even the dogs are panting there.
Yeah, you have to be careful with the dogs in this weather, because it's easy to run them a little bit too hard, and then you realise a little bit too late. And a couple of them hot times in the last few summers, lads lost dogs, you know, where they just overheated and went a bit too far. But that's why I keep changing them regularly, and I like to get as much water into them as I can at every opportunity. It's like it's nearly like refueling, or you get to replenish them. Like.
Very good. And you have a YouTube channel yourself, do you?
Yeah, I'm on YouTube as well too. My thing's called Churchmount Sheepdogs, but it's just sheepdogs and sheepdog lads.
Yeah. So there won't be too much longer here. I think it'll be time that they're going for a cup of tea there now. They're on a bit of a break there now, the lads.
I was sort of hoping it wouldn't be too much longer. I'd love to go and get in the pool or have a little slip into the river or something. But yeah, I'd say another hour and a half probably wrap it up.
I'd say there'll be a few well-deserved drinks this evening, will there?
They could be a little bit like the dogs. They probably want to be careful not to get too much too quick.
So we know about some of them lads.
They'll be acclimatised.
They'll be well acclimatised with it.
Yeah.
Well, listen, it's great talking to Paddy here. As I say, a world of information on how we'll say sheep farming is done in the hills here, because it probably is a little bit in decline compared to maybe years ago. There was an amount of sheep here where now there's just not as many. It's not.
You fellas up here tend to get a little bit older too. I'm old enough, but I'm probably one of the young lads now.
Yeah. But sure, look, it's good to see them at it anyway. Good to see them enjoying it there. There's a bit of crack with them there too.
There's always a bit of crack.
There's always a bit of crack, and sure, without that, sure, you have nothing to say.
Yeah.
All right, so we talk to them.